We're back, ladies and gentlemen. We got the pads on, got the helmet. We're ready to guard your savings. Yes, the Guard Your Savings podcast here with Dolph Janis, the founder, insurance professional, and income strategist at Clear Income Strategies Group, based out of Charlotte. You can go to guardyoursavings.com or clearincomeforlife.com and get in touch with Dolph and the team. You can also do that by punching those numbers in your phone, if you still even use your phone for an actual phone, right? 704-919-0149 to schedule that Ask Anything session with Dolph and the team. In fact, if you go to clearincomeforlife.com, click that schedule button, opens up Dolph's calendar right there. You can't see everything that's on the calendar. You can see what he has available. And with that, Dolph, welcome back in. Hope you're doing okay. Loved our last show on about time never slows down. So you're going to be proactive or you're going to wait on stuff. How you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for asking, Doug. Weather's turning. The rain's still annoying us every now and then, but still nothing like waking up and looking at blue skies and just your family and your friends and everybody else out there just enjoying what's going on and having an opportunity to be a blessing to have so many unbelievable clients throughout the year with their support and all these people piling in with different questions about podcasts and stuff. And today's episode I'm excited about because we've had several people ask about this survey that came out and their thoughts on it. Because, I mean, most people are afraid of public speaking and spiders, and it's amazing how people are thinking these days.
Well, for sure. So, let's get right into that because there's a recent survey from a top-rated firm in the finance industry here. They surveyed 1,000 Americans, and basically the overarching conclusion, roughly 2/3 of the people in that 1,000-person survey feared going broke more than they feared dying. Now, I got to say, Dolph, I'm not so much afraid of death itself. I love Jesus. I'm a believer. The idea of dying is not so terrifying to me, but I really don't love the idea of how it's going to happen, especially if it's something crazy and what my last words might be. I really don't want one of George Carlin's 7 banned words to be one of my last words. Okay. So I think more about that than death itself, but there are a lot of people and it's legitimate, Dolph, because you hear about rising prices and taxes and war and famine and whatever, all these different things, and it can really scare people. So how do you help guide through this anxiety?
If I remember that survey, I mean, it was people between the age of 50 and 60, and it was random with the age group because people of different age groups fear different things.
Yeah.
And living life on fear is not a very good thing, but if there's a lot of times you can reflect in life, and trust me, there's 24 hours in a day. You sleep 1/3 of them if you're lucky. And if you're not lucky, you sleep a little less than that. But when you're reflecting on life, and then people say, I'm afraid of running out of money. Of course you're afraid of running out of money. And some of the biggest reasons I believe, Doug, that people are afraid of running out of money is, one, they don't get to do what they want to do. And when you get told you can't do something because you don't have something, it's discouraging. And then some things break out after that. Another reason I think that they're afraid of running out of money is they don't want to be dependent on somebody else. And that's something I'm very heavily with my clients is there's 3 types of money out there. There's today money, tomorrow money, and there's never money. Money today is the money you're living on today. Tomorrow is the money that's going to support your lifestyle until you pass away. And the never money is the money you never plan on using. And it's amazing. I would say easily under 10% of the people I've worked with over the last 20 years never had a never pile. Very few had that pile. And those are the ones that did have a never pile. Those are the ones that weren't afraid of dying because they weren't afraid of running out of money. They're going to enjoy life as long as they have the opportunity to enjoy life. I mean, because you looked at the biggest fears in life. I mean, in the past, it's always been public speaking, spiders, and that stuff. And then dying and running out of money was like 4 and 5. Now it's swapped. I'm like, wait, you're more afraid of talking in front of 100 people and a spider walking in front of you than you are about going broke?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was 10, 15, 20 years ago. Now times have changed. There's been a lot going on out there. Even though it might be a small group, they speak for a lot of large people because one of the biggest things I get with the majority of the prospects and clients I have is, do I have enough money to continue my lifestyle that I'm used to for a long time, if not for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
And you look at how much money you have at risk versus how much money you don't have at risk is a big thing that most people don't do. Is because, like, I've met with people. I got $2 million. I'm gonna use this one person. I got $2 million, Dolph. I'm 64 years old. I'm doing great. I'm retired. I'm getting $2,000 a month in Social Security, and this, that, and the other. Goes, I don't want boom, 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 boom. But this was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now the same individual came to me. He's like, now I'm 69 years old. I got $700,000 left, and like I've just blown through 45% of my portfolio in
Oof.
5 years. So I'm not living the life I'm worried now about running out of money now all of a sudden. Well, this once happy $2 million person who's running through the market and spending money like Free Willy out there and just like not having any concerns for the world because he wasn't having any protection. And you have
Yeah.
to have a backup plan. If you don't have a backup plan, that's where the never money pops in. The money you never plan on using. But God, when it's there, Doug, you feel good because like if something breaks, like the gutters, which I talked about, which I'm not going to tweet on that one again, or your roof or your AC or whatever it is, you don't take it out of your day to day money. You take it out of your never money.
Well, that's a great point. That's a really great point, and that you need to plan for the unexpected. You know, we talk about that, planning for the unexpected, and of course, planning and having an income plan charted out, so you're not surprised when your expenses are this much and you don't have enough to do it. What are some misconceptions then that people have about their retirement planning, or maybe some ways you've surprised people in a good way when they maybe realize or not that they have more than they expect? You know, maybe some people only look at their savings pile versus looking at what other assets or income modules they have.
That goes back to reflection. And it's like, how important is that? Is 15 minutes a week? Just think about it. I mean, how many hours are in a week? I don't even know anymore. I forgot. But 15 minutes sometime during the week. If
168, I think.
Okay, thank you. So 15 minutes of that is like 0.01% or whatever. You just sit down once a week for 15 minutes with your spouse or yourself and your computer, map out what you spent this week, what you spent that month, or how your spending habits are going, and seeing if you're over exhausting yourself, if you're living more than outside your means. Like you got 4,000 coming in this week or this month, you got 4,000 coming in this month, and you're consistently spending $5,600 a month. You got a shortfall of $1,600. Now, if you're consistently spending 2,500 and you get an extra $1,500, what are you doing with that $1,500? You letting it work for you, or are you just going to keep it there and say, "Oh, I'm going to spend it"? Because I can't tell you, Doug, how many people like who come to me and say, "I got $400,000 sitting in my checking account." I'm like, "Why? You're earning 0.025% in your check." No, actually, Dolph, I'm earning 1%. I'm like, "Okay, congratulations, 1% on 400,000. What's the biggest check you've ever written in your life, except for a car or a house?" And most people say, "Well, I did the vacation or whatever for 8 to 12,000." I said, "So you're 63 years old. The biggest check you ever have is written for yourself is 12,000. What makes you think you're going to need to spend $400,000 anytime in the near future with no access to it?" Now, if there was an account where you could put 300,000 of that 400,000 in and earn you 4 to 6%, maybe even 7% more if you're lucky, with no fees, and you still have access to $30,000 a year, would that interest you? You still have access every year to more money than you've ever spent in one time in your life,
Yeah.
and you're going to be earning by the interest that you were spending for your life.
And you're speaking of an annuity, right? That's the thing this is sounding like,
That's
right?
one of the options out there.
Yeah.
I mean, there are annuities, CDs, and stuff like that. But out there, even if they're a CD, they don't believe in annuities, and they like paying taxes at the end of the year, and they don't like insurance companies, and they like lower rates. Even if they put their money in a CD for 3 to 5 years, earning 4% versus in a money market. I mean, fine, put it there. At least I'm helping somebody. They don't have to become a client, but if they've learned something, as an educator before advisor would tell you, making something is better than not making nothing at all.
That's a great point. People, they get scared. And, I mean, I think about my grandparents' generation, my late grandmother in particular, very frugal. Well, she lived through the Depression. Her teenage years were in some of the worst times in the United States.
I couldn't imagine.
I can't either, right? We've lived in amazingly blessed times for as much bluster and negativity as we hear. So she held money very tightly, although I think she had smart strategies and planned for events later in life. But it's sometimes people just realize that at some point you got to spend a little bit of this money, or you realize you're not going to run out tomorrow when you have a number as big as you mentioned, 300,000 or 400,000 there. And if you put some aside, you can actually get a little break off of it each year, and that's not your only source of money, and that the what's left over can still grow. I think that's a great thing to do. So if somebody wants to schedule time with you, Dolph, and work through some of these options, and maybe we can't guarantee that their fear and anxiety are going to go away, but you can maybe help them grapple with that a little bit. How do they make that first meeting to learn about some, well, clear income strategies?
Well, we're available. If you go to guardyoursavings.com, it will lead you to our main website, which is clearincomeforlife.com. And we have a plethora of free complimentary information there. Take advantage of charts, estate planning charts, everything. My Calendly link's on there. If you click it, it shows up. We can meet in Zoom, meet in person, meet at a place of your choice, meet over the phone. However it's convenient for you is convenient for me. You can send us an email at info@cisforlife.com. You can call us. All different ways of shape or form that we have. We will be more than happy to just educate you and just get you at least a second opinion or anything that could potentially help you going forward, because at the end of the day, it's what you keep that counts.
If you're a good steward of your money, that's your legacy, being a good steward of your money for sure. All right. And we also want you to go on the media or podcast page at either guardyoursavings.com or clearingcomeforlife.com. All of our past episodes cataloged there. Really, Dolph tells some great stories on those. You should get into those as well. And if you like Seinfeld, like have a little laugh into episodes. We made it a whole episode the last time without any reference to it there, Dolph. So
you owe me $1.
I owe you $1. You're the one that didn't do it.
I owe you $1 then.
There you go. And I'll lock that up at a 7% interest rate too. But no, Dolph, not either way. Thank you so much for joining here, for giving back to the community, but also giving your time to us so we can discuss these important things and help people grapple with fear.
Because the more things you knock off in life and the more negative, and like I said, that 15 minutes of reflection you can do every week, you make a list of things that you're worried about, things that you're concerned about and stuff, and just add to that list. And then the more you can find a way to check those things off and eliminate them from your list, I can almost promise you that you're going to have a happier life, and things going forward are going to be a lot better. Because if you think about everything in life and all the negatives that are out there and all the hate and this, that, and the other, and the scare techniques that this, that, and the other is happening, I'm not going to go into details, of course.
Right.
Just remember this. When I was an altar boy way back in the day, Father Mentor told me, he goes, Dolph, every moment you're upset, you're lonely, you're angry, you're stressed or depressed is a moment of happiness you're taking away. And moments are few and far between, and you got to take care of those moments, enjoy them going forward. Don't stress, don't fear over them. Do something about it, because the longer you fear about it, the longer it's going to take to fix it.
That's a great point. Hey, on this note, I would like to leave off with this. Okay, so there's an alternative rock band that came, basically 25 years ago came into prominence. Three Doors Down. They recently had to postpone their summer tour because lead singer Brad Arnold found out he has stage 4 kidney cancer that's even metastasized into his lungs. All right, and I want you to hear what he said about that.
We serve a mighty God who can overcome anything. So I have no fear. I really sincerely am not scared of it at all.
He's not scared of it at all. And a lot of that he attributes to his faith, because no matter how this turns out, he knows he's going to be all right in the end. Look, we can't guarantee you're going to be all right in the end every time you do this stuff. Things happen, but certainly take some things into your own hands here and start planning for that retirement. So, Dolph, again, thank you for spending the time today, for lending some wise words. We also thank our producer, Alfred Romero, for getting this thing stitched up and produced and published out to everybody. And we thank all of you for listening. And again, go to guardyoursavings.com or dial up 704-919-0149 to get an appointment with Dolph and the team, and tell us what you think of the show, some things you'd like to hear on the show at info@cisforlife.com. Also, be sure and subscribe. These episodes come out roughly every 2 weeks. Dolph Janis is the founder and insurance professional income strategist at Clear Income Strategies Group. I'm your co-host, Doug Turnbull. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon here on the Guard Your Savings Podcast.
I love the fact that people listen to this. And just remember, it's not how many times you fall down, it's how many times you get up and make yourself stronger. So take care, and God bless.
By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities offered through Randall Janis, North Carolina Insurance License number 8483456. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Dolph Janis is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Dolph Janis is licensed in your state, please call 704-919-0149.